I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not likely.
Okay, so now it's time to install our new ball joint, upper ball joint. Comes with a grease fitting. Beautiful, beautiful. Comes with new bolts, a new bolt kit, nuts, cotter pin. Basically, they're just super simple bolts in, 7/16 bolts, only 4. We just slap this down in here. We can install a little bit of grease if you wanted to, just a thin skim coat, kind of help it go in. So let me grab my grease. Just gonna stick a little on here. And that's all we'll need. I'm not gonna put none on this. We'll just slip it down there. Let me wipe my greasy finger off. Line your hose up and bada bing. Ball joint will be installed. Okay, just drop it in. Line your hose up. Then you're gonna take your new bolts, stick them from the bottom side up through the hole. Grab your nut. There's no washers or nothing. Upper ball joints are a breeze. Lower ones are pressed in, so they're a little more difficult. But if you watch our video, we showed you how to do it. Wasn't so bad if you have that tool, ball joint tool. And I'm just dropping my bolt. Now usually they put these Zerks in, but they'll only be snug. You gotta still tighten these up. So we get our third bolt in. And somehow we're missing a nut. How's that even possible? They only sent 3 nuts? What the hey? I think we got ripped off, boys. Oh, I'm delusional. There's a 4th one. I put it to the side. Here's our last bolt, 7/16. You don't want to tighten nothing up till you get all the bolts going. Oh, this one tried to go in crooked. Let's screw it in a little bit. Alright, we got all 4 in. Put our last nut on there. We'll get our 2 wrenches. One to hold the bottom side. Actually, I'm going to grab a socket because that's just going to be easier. Just going to snug each one down a little bit at a time. Go to the next one. And I'll grab a socket to put them in torque. I gotta look it up, I don't know them offhand. But I'll look it up and I'll put in a video what do you want to torque them down to. Should be right about now. Torque specs. Alright, so that's pretty much it. We got the ball joint in. Simple. Now we just torque them down. And we got our castle nut on there. We got a new cotter pin to go in there for later. I'm just leaving that on there so it don't get lost. And these, other than the bumper stop, they're ready to install. We've got our new bushings in both sides, looking great. New ball joint in. We're just going to torque them down. We got a brand new bumper kit coming. I got the ones a couple days ago for the lower A-arms. We've already installed one of those. I'm waiting on these to come in. They should be in today. Upper control arms, super easy to do. Save yourself some money. Don't take it to a shop. I had this car quoted just out of curiosity. At a shop, they wanted $1,700 to rebuild my front end. Upper bushings, lower bushings, and ball joints. And that was it. I wasn't even doing the whole steering mechanism, such as the drag link and the center link and the inner and outer tie rods. It was just this. I was like, no thank you, I'll be doing it myself. But out of curiosity, I wanted to see how much money I would be saving, and $1,700. They were a little bit high, but you can do this yourself. You saw how easy this was. Upper ball joints, you don't even have to take these out if you're just doing the ball joints. They can be on the car while you do this. But I was doing the bushings and rebuilding the whole front end, all brand new stuff. So we took it out, we cleaned it, rust proofed it, and she is ready now to rock and roll. So that's going to conclude the upper ball joint, or upper ball joints, and the whole rebuilding of the upper A arm. Alright, and now to finish up the upper control arm, we have ordered some new bumper stops. They go here in this slot. We went with the Energy brand, polyurethane. These are simple pull-throughs. Gonna look good in there. Basically, you flip it over and you'll see your little slot here, and you just work it through there. Then you're going to pull it up as far as she'll allow you to go until it's seated. Basically, you're going to pull it through until you reach this ledge, this edge here. So this will all go through there, and it locks in from that section there. Good pair of pliers, and kind of work it until you get it to pop through. So I'm gonna grab some channel, something that has a little more leverage than those ordinary pliers. There goes my 2x4. Okay, got one side in. Oh, so close. So close. There we go. Just like that. She's locked into place. Now I can wipe off the grease. The grease definitely helped a little. But there we go. Bumper stop in. Upper control arm completed. Kind of gives it a little nice contrast with the red poking through. So this is pretty much ready to be reinstalled into the car. What we're going to do, last step, Let's put our washer, retaining washer, and our nut back on here. But before we do that, we're going to grease it. Put a little grease on the threads. Good amount. Put our retaining washer on. You'll see it's concave. So this would be the outside. You want it to pinch in. I'm gonna add a little more grease on the bottom side. I don't think I hit that as good. And we are not going to tighten this up. We're just going to get them on there. Snug it down just a little bit. We'll torque it down once it's all on the ground, under its own weight. Same thing to the other side. We'll add a little grease onto the threads. I'll flip it over so y'all can see. We're just adding some grease. Get some towards the back. There we go. Retaining washer. And our nut. We're reusing the stock pair. They were in great shape. So we are pretty much ready. We're going to tighten this down a little bit. We're not going to tighten it. We're just going to get it to where it's closer to the washer holding it on. And then we are prepared for this to be reinstalled. I don't believe this is the right size, but it could be. Nope. Okay. Looks like it's a 15/16. Yeah, 15/16. Put my lid back on the grease. I should grab a socket, but I probably won't. Now, I'm going to leave that loose, so what we can do is once we get it in the car, this bar might need to be moved a little. Like, I can already tell it needs to be tweaked up just a little bit so it'll fit in there. Tighten this other side up just a hair. I'm not tightening it, but getting it closer. We know our bar is turning now. So I got markings on here, like I know which side's the back, which side's the front. This is definitely the back. So I got it right where I need it pretty much right now, with a little more of a turn right about there. So now I'm ready for this to go back onto the car. We'll go ahead and shuffle you over there. I could go ahead and grease this ball joint. Reminds me, I need to tighten this up and torque these down to specs. So before we put it on the car, I got to torque this ball joint. So I'm going to look up the torque specs for this. And we'll tighten this grease zerk up. I think I already have, but I'll make sure. And then we'll be ready to install that. So let me check out the specs for this and get that set up to torque, and we'll be right back.